Shut up! Cartoons. Recap and review by me. Hey guys, my name is Tyler and I just finished watching the finale of Do's and Don'ts on ShutUp cartoons. And what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys a recap, a review, and my thoughts on the series. Now if you haven't watched any of the Do's and Don'ts episodes and don't like to be spoiled, don't watch this video. In fact, go watch it now and come back to this video and you will be entertained. Now if you're watching this video because you don't want to see Do's and Don'ts, keep on watching. So let's start with a recap of Do's and Don'ts. Henry dies from a game of Russian roulette, causing the kids to decompose him into chocolate, then gets rid of it by selling it as chocolate shakes and burning the chocolate shake stand. Susie goes through surgery which results in her boobs being huge, gets a skinny body, and has too much makeup on, while Jimmy is suggested to turn to homosexuality. Susie learns how to become a vegetarian but ends up eating everything meat by making it retarded and therefore making it a vegetable. Jimmy becomes the bro, also known as the douche, and is told that everyone will like him forever as the American flag waves in the background. Everything is black and white as the kids learn a little about LaBarbecue and his people. This turns out with Jimmy and LaBarbecue being best friends, as the episode closes out with a mob of Mexicans waiting along the US border. Jimmy and Susie crash lands on a deserted island where Jimmy eats and kills Susie, and a guy named Jacob warns Jimmy about a war. The episode then closes out as if it was an episode of Lost. LaBarbecue changes his name to Okie Dokie, writes a rap called Scratch and Sniff featuring Lil Wayne, and tops the charts. He then ends up going to jail, writes a movie, and being worth over $150 million. Jimmy ends up in a juvenile hall and is forced to join a gang. This ends up in Jimmy pooping out chocolate and fighting a bunch of mentally retarded kids. The kids build a church in their backyard and creates a piece of fake dog poop called Query, which is a parody of Apple's Siri. Query ends up living 1,000 years later and perishes the new offerings. And finally, Jimmy kills his own dog in order to make his sprouts grow faster, which ends up to be Susie's dog. Doing this caused Jimmy to break the rules of ritualistic sacrifice, resulting in the world being blown up. And there you have it, folks. That was your recap of ShutUp cartoons, Do's and Don'ts. So now for a review of the cartoon. When I first saw this cartoon, I was thinking like, this actually looks like 3ds Max animation. And I bet you it probably is, but who knows? I don't. And watching the first few minutes, I was thinking, okay, this is sort of interesting, but at the same time was kind of weird, and these are kids we're talking about, so like, this is putting them in a sort of messed up situation, considering the fact that they were playing a game of Russian roulette, resulting in an unknown character that we never met named Henry being dead. And then they had to hide the body, and then all of a sudden, like, the narrator starts telling these kids to do this, not to do that, and shows them 3 different places, and then all of a sudden there's this guy saying, "Hey guys," and then there's like another, and then he comes out again saying, "Hey guys," and the narrator calls him like some kind of redskin or whatever, raper, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember. And then all the little like cartoon-ish stuff and the paper cuttings and whatever the little guy there was and the female and the like, what is this, humping action, I guess. It was really weird for me to do that, I'm sorry. That kind of just made it weird overall, sort of, but interesting, and I just kept watching for the next 9 weeks and trying to see where this cartoon would end up and everything. It ended up being a pretty okay cartoon, but you guys gotta remember that Smosh, Ian, and Anthony, they were executive producers, but the people that created the cartoon are different people, but the creator is being supervised by Ian and Anthony to make sure it looks interesting. And I know reading the comments and everything, a lot of people are like, for this cartoon especially, it's like a mix of yeses and nos. But overall, the cartoon was pretty just interesting. I have no other words to say than interesting. because overall the cartoon to me wasn't that appealing, but it was pretty interesting to watch. I'm sorry, I cannot find any other word but interesting. I'm sorry. So if I was to rate this cartoon out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5. The animation was good. The storyline and the plot was pretty random. I mean, of course, they don't necessarily have to correlate one after the other or everything by each episode. I mean, but it was pretty random. I guess that's the point of the cartoon, is to have it random, and the kids are told to do this and not to do that, etc. Overall, the cartoon was great, and I enjoyed watching it, I guess. I mean, I didn't thoroughly enjoy it like I would watching cartoons on Nickelodeon, or, it's actually, I would say it's better than that crap that they show on Cartoon Network nowadays. And, but it's not as good as something you would see on Nickelodeon or any of the older cartoons back then, before the new era of cartoons came out. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. Okay, so that will wrap up this recap and review of Shut Up Cartoons Do's and Don'ts. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you can subscribe if you want, whatever. If you want to show your friends, hit the share button down below. I'll be doing these kinds of videos for Pubertina, Zombies vs. Ninjas, Krogzilla, Snowjacked, and whatever following series of Shut Up Cartoons comes out. And I'll watch all 10 of their videos, of their episodes of this series, and we'll give it feedback, a recap, and review. And yeah, other than that, I have nothing else to say, but hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll probably be seeing you guys next time.